नमो ओं विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते राधानाथ स्वामिन्निति नामिने। नमो ओं विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिन्निति नामिने। नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पश्चात्य देशतारिणे। ओम ज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूप कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम्। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरु श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवम् साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजन सहितं कृष्ण चैतन्य देवं श्री राधा कृष्ण पादान् सकगण ललिता श्री विशाखान्वितांश्च। हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधो दीनबंधो जगत्पदे गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमोस्तुते। तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसूते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। श्रीकृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभो नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौरभक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। ईश्वरा परम कृष्ण सच्चिदानंद विग्रह अनादिरादिर गोविंदा सर्व कारण कारणम। हरे कृष्ण। By Lord Sri Krishna's causeless mercy, we are nicely studying Bhagavad Gita every day. So by Krishna's causeless mercy, in the 10th chapter, we finished 10 slokas, the opulence of the Absolute. So in this last 3-4 slokas, we are studying like Krishna is giving us even more knowledge, like how he is the supreme person. So that knowledge Krishna is teaching us. Especially in the 10th sloka, what we studied, Krishna is saying very clearly that if you worship me, if you love me, if you worship me with devotion, with love, then I will be able to give you intelligence by which you can come to me. So Krishna is ready to give us intelligence, but we can receive that intelligence only if we are able to love Krishna. Otherwise, we cannot get the intelligence. Because what is intelligence? We need to understand. Intelligence means not getting attached to material sense objects. That's what Buddhya Yukta. So that means not getting bonded to this material world. That's what intelligence means. In the second chapter, in the sloka number 54, when Arjuna asks the question about what are the symptoms of a person who has got intelligence. Basically, the symptoms of a self-realized person. So, Sthita Prajna. Sthita Prajna means a person whose prajna is sthita. That means whose intelligence is stable. So, prajna is also intelligence, and sthita means it is very stable. So, that's what Sthita Prajna, who has got a stable intelligence. Steady. So, it's a steady intelligence. So, that's what Achala. Samadhav Achala Buddhi. So that's what is known as Samadhav Achala Buddhi. Achala Buddhi means which is not wavering, which is steady. So that's what Achala Buddhi. So that intelligence is Samadhav. So that status is known as Samadhi. So Krishna is saying here we can achieve that status of Samadhi, that is steady intelligence, when we are able to serve Krishna. When we love Krishna. When we realize and understand that this material world is temporary, this material world is miserable, and Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and Krishna is our constant companion, and Krishna is with us all the time, and he is permanently related to us. So then with that kind of knowledge, with that kind of understanding, if we are able to feel Krishna everywhere, if we are able to feel the same Krishna who is within ourselves as the super soul, so that means then we will be able to love Krishna. once that unalloyed love comes into picture. So Krishna is saying that in the 9th chapter we studied Patram Pushpam Palam Toyam Yome Bhaktya Prayachati Tadaham Bhakti Upakritam Asnami Prayatatmanaga. That's what is Bhakti. So if anyone offers me a leaf, flower, water or fruit with devotion, then I shall accept it. That's what Krishna is saying there. So Krishna wants us to show bhakti, and Krishna wants to give us his mercy, prasadam, buddhi. So that's the thing. So if we show our bhakti to Krishna, if we show our devotion to Krishna, and Krishna will give intelligence to us. That's what is main thing. So then using that intelligence, we can go to Krishna. So that is what is called real intelligence. Intelligence means not just someone who does the problems very fast, who has got very good IQ level and understands and does things very fast. That is not called intelligence. So there, in this material world, maybe our brain may be a little bit more effective. We may be able to solve problems. Maybe we may be able to achieve a lot of material success. But if we are spiritually blind, if we are in the darkness, so then in Krishna's viewpoint, we are simply fools. Vimuda nanu pasyanti. So Vimuda cannot see that how the three modes of material nature are acting. A fool cannot understand how we are controlled by the three modes of material nature all the time. Only a person who has got the eyes of knowledge can see that. So that means if you want to gain intelligence, so we need to have this knowledge of Bhagavad Gita and we need to love Krishna. So that is called the real intelligence. So that intelligence when we get from Krishna, that means to understand the difference between matter and spirit. To understand, to get the knowledge that we are not the body, we are the soul. So to differentiate between the spirit and matter, to differentiate between the body and soul, so that is what called real intelligence. With that intelligence only we can control our mind. With that intelligence only we can go to Krishna's world. Yena mam upayanti te. Krishna is saying that dadami buddhi yogam tam yena mam upayanti te. So I shall give the intelligence by which they come to me. That's what Krishna is saying there. So once we have the intelligence, then we can control our mind. Then our mind will become our best friend. Then we will get peace of mind. Then we will be able to really enjoy unlimited happiness within ourselves. If you don't have intelligence, Nasti buddhi ayuktasya nacha ayuktasya bhavanaga nacha abhavayataga santi asantasya kutasukam. If a person is not engaged in serving Krishna, that means one who is ayuktasya, that means one who is not able to regulate everything, one who is not connected with Krishna. Yuktasya means regulation, connection. So connecting with Krishna. So that's what yuktasya. So we already studied in the 6th chapter about the meaning for yukta also. So Krishna is saying very clearly in the 6th chapter, in the about the yoga when Krishna was teaching us. So the there is na ati asnatastu yogosti na chaikanta manasnataga na cha ati swapna silasya jagrato naiva charjuna. So that's what Krishna taught us. So if we eat too much or eat too little, if we sleep too much or sleep too little, then we will not be able to achieve yoga. Then when Krishna is explaining about the yukta, yata viniyatam chittam atmanyeva vatistate nispragaha sarvakamebhyo yukta ityuchyate tata yata viniyatam chittam atmanyeva avatistate. So anyone who is able to bring his consciousness, bring the thoughts, everything under the control of ourself. That's what Atmanyeva avatistade. Yata viniyatam chittam. Atmanyeva avatistade. Nispragaga sarva kamebhyo, free from all desires. So that's what is called yukta, free from all the desires. So when that is going to happen, that's going to happen only when we are able to connect ourselves with Krishna. That is why called this yukta is very much connected. Yukta means connection with Krishna. So Krishna is saying here in the 6th chapter 18th sloka, Yatha viniyatam chittam atmanyeva avatistade nispragaga sarva kamebhyo yukta ityuchyate tata. That is known as yukta. That is called as yukta. That means one who is able to bring his consciousness, bring his thoughts, everything, bring his mind under the control of the self. So then that is called yukta. So that is possible only by thinking about Krishna, only by focusing our mind on Krishna, only by remembering Krishna. So then only we can achieve that status of yukta. So that way, yukta means connection with Krishna. That's what yukta. Yoga also, the meaning is linking up with Krishna, connection with Krishna. So, but we understand that siddhya siddhyo samo bhutva samatvam yoga uchyate. So one who is equal in both success and failure, and that equanimity is called yoga. So this yukta means getting connected with Krishna. Yoga, that equanimity we can achieve only if we are able to serve Krishna, only if we are connected with Krishna. Otherwise, in this material world, if we are connected with this matter, if we are attached to the material sense objects, then we cannot be equal in both success and failure. That is not possible. So that equanimity of being equal in both success and failure is possible only when we are able to remember Krishna, when we are able to connect ourselves with Krishna. Otherwise, it is not possible. That's why Krishna is teaching us very clearly that in the 2nd chapter, Nasti buddhi ayuktasya. So when we are not connected with Krishna, that means when we are attached to this material sense objects, so that means we are going to lose the intelligence. There won't be any intelligence with us. So that way, the real meaning of intelligence is actually when we are connected with Krishna, Krishna gives us intelligence. So a person who doesn't even know about Krishna, who has no connection with Krishna, a person materialistically, he may be very sharp and with very high IQ level or whatnot, but that person is actually in front of Krishna. He's simply a fool if he doesn't know Bhagavad Gita, if he is not able to understand the difference between body and soul, and if he's not able to fall in love with Krishna, then that person is simply a fool in front of Krishna. That's what we need to understand. So the real intelligence is actually to realize that we are not the body, we are the soul, and understand the difference between both, and then do things in such a way, act in such a way, so that we can liberate ourselves from this material bondage, so that we will not come back again to this material world. So that is what is called real intelligence. And that one can get only with the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita. That's what in the 10th chapter, 10th sloka, we studied very clearly. Krishna is saying that I give the intelligence by which you can come to me. Dadami buddhi yogam tam yenamam upayanti te. Otherwise, nasti buddhi ayuktasya, nacha ayuktasya bhavana. So, when we are not connected with Krishna, so that means we are going to lose intelligence, we will not have intelligence, and also we will not have steady mind. Nacha abhavayataka santi. Abhavayataka na santi. When there is no steady mind, there is no peace of mind. Asantasya kuta sukam. When there is no peace of mind, where from happiness comes? That's what Krishna is asking. So the happiness we will get only by connecting ourselves with Krishna. Only by studying Bhagavad Gita, falling in love with Krishna, and doing everything for the satisfaction of Krishna, then only we will get happiness. The real happiness, the real enjoyment, what we get. So for that reason, we need to have this Bhagavad Gita knowledge. It's very, very important. That's why this Bhagavad Gita is susukam kartum, because it can be joyfully performed. It brings us so much happiness. That's why in this 10th chapter we studied, Krishna said that in the 9th sloka, Machitta Madgata Prana Bodhayantaga Parasparam Kadayantascha Mam Nityam Tushyanti Cha Ramanti Cha. We are going to get so much happiness and enjoyment by remembering Krishna, by talking about Krishna, by knowing about Krishna, by glorifying Krishna. So all such things are going to bring us so much happiness and satisfaction in our life. If we get that kind of happiness, like we studied in the third chapter, Yastvatmaratireva syat atmatriptascha manavaga atmanyeva cha santushtaga tasya karyam na vidyate. So then there is no work for us to do. There is no duty for us to do. We are totally free. If we get that kind of happiness, then we don't have to work anything. We will not be forced to act. We are completely free from this material veil, from the material bondage. So that is the effect of Bhagavad Gita knowledge. All these things can happen simply by understanding this Bhagavad Gita fully. That's it. If you get this knowledge fully, if you understand Bhagavad Gita fully, then we know without any doubt, without any confusion, we will be able to understand that Krishna is the Supreme Person. He is the Paramatma, He is the Purushottama, He is the Maheswara, He is the Parameswara, He is the Yogeshwara, everything. Even though Lord Shiva is normally known as Maheswara, but we see in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna is calling himself as Maheswara. And Lord Shiva is known as Parameswara, and Krishna is, Arjuna himself addressing Krishna as Parameswara. And Krishna is Yogeshwara. Because Lord Shiva, Krishna only, Lord Shiva himself is Krishna only. That's what we understand. So that's why Krishna is saying very clearly that everything is coming from me. Everything. Aham sarvasya prabhavo mattagas sarvam pravartate. I am the source of everything. Everything emanates from me because Krishna is the original personality of Godhead from whom everything came. That is the main point we need to understand. Krishna, Lord Brahma is saying in the Brahma Samhita that Govindamadi Purusham Tamagam Bhajami. So Govinda is the Adi Purusha. Govinda is the original supreme personality of Godhead. He is the primeval Lord Govinda to whom I adore. I worship Govinda. That's what he says. So that's what we understand from Bhagavad Gita, that everything starts from Krishna. Krishna is the beginning of everything, but he has no beginning for himself. In the 10th chapter, first few slokas, we studied only about this. Krishna said, explained to us very, very clearly. Without any doubt, we understand it very nicely. Only thing we need to study Bhagavad Gita again and again without stopping. That means at no point of time we can say that I have finished 18th chapter 78th sloka. Yatra Yogeshwara Krishna, Yatra Pato Dhanurdara, Tatra Sri Vijayo Bhuti, Dhruvo Nitir Matir Mama. Wherever there is Krishna, the master of all mystics, wherever there is Arjuna, the supreme archer, certainly there will be extraordinary opulence, victory, morality, everything. So we cannot say that I'm done with Bhagavad Gita. I finished 18 chapter 78 slokas. No way. Because Bhagavad Gita is the continuous source of knowledge, and Bhagavad Gita, when we study Bhagavad Gita, we are actually listening to Krishna directly, and Bhagavad Gita brings us so much happiness. So that way, this Bhagavad Gita, all these slokas in Bhagavad Gita, we should keep on reading, studying, spreading, sharing, everything we should do it without any end to it. Then what will be the result? What will be the net result? What will be the outcome of all this, whatever we do? There is Krishna's world, Goloka. We are going to get Krishna's world. We are going to go to Goloka. We will be freed from this material world completely. We will not be attached to anything in this material world. Everything in this material world is just made up of matter, and everything is temporary, and everything is changing all the time. Nothing is permanent here except the soul, Jiva, and the Paramatma, the super soul. So we need to understand this, and we need to connect ourselves with our Paramatma. We need to connect ourselves with the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna. only through this Bhagavad Gita knowledge. So then our life is going to be very, very meaningful life. Krishna, then we will be completely under the care of Krishna only. We don't have to worry about anything at that point of time. Simply focus on Krishna, chant Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, and do everything for Krishna. That's what is possible. So that way, Krishna actually is going to give us more and more opportunities. We are going to see that. We are going to feel it. Krishna will actually make us to serve him even more. When we want to serve Krishna, when we want to please Krishna, Krishna is going to make sure that we will please him. That is the main thing. Only thing we should want to please Krishna. That's the only thing. That is the only thing Krishna wants from us. So Krishna wants from us that we should want to please Krishna. That's it. Once we get that desire within us to please Krishna, like desire, any desire, like desire to enjoy the material sense objects. So we are having desires, so many desires. So like that, if we desire to please Krishna, if we desire to serve Krishna, that is the only thing Krishna is waiting for. As soon as we develop that desire, then everything Krishna will take care of it. Krishna will make sure we will serve him very well. Krishna will make sure we will remember him at the time of our death. We'll go to Krishna as well. So then everything possible. So only thing what we need to do is that we need to submit our free will unto Krishna. We need to desire, we need to love Krishna, and we should desire every day, oh Krishna, I want to serve you so much. I want to make so many devotees, Krishna. I want to do this for you. I want to do that for you. I want to please you, Krishna. That is the only thing what we want. So all those things are, I want Krishna. I want to satisfy you. I want to please you. That's the only thing Krishna is expecting from us. Because otherwise, everything is coming from him. The energy, Krishna gives us the energy. Krishna gives us the strength. Krishna gives us the knowledge. Krishna gives us the memory. Everything is coming from Krishna. But Krishna cannot make us to say that I love you, Krishna. That is the main thing. Krishna is loving us so much. Krishna loves all of us so much. In return, Krishna wants us also to say that, oh Krishna, I love you so much, Krishna. That's what Krishna is waiting for there. Waiting for that, I love you. That I love you, correct? That's what in this material world they use so many places. So, but that real love can happen only with Krishna. So if we simply tell Krishna that I love you, Krishna, if you fall in love with Krishna, that's it. Then Krishna will take care of everything. So that's why in the next sloka, what we are studying in the 10th chapter, this sloka number 11, Krishna is actually teaching even more clearly. In the 11th chapter, Krishna is saying that Tesham yevanukham partha aham ajnanajam tamaha nasayami atma bhavasto jnanadipena basvata. Tesham, to whom? Tesham, for them. For whom? In the previous sloka. In the previous sloka also Krishna used the word Tesham. So that means for whom? The sloka before that. So that's how we need to go. In the 10th chapter, Tesham satata yuktanam bhajattam priti purvakam dadami buddhi yogam tham yena mamupayanti te. So there also Krishna started with that sloka with Tesham. Now also Krishna is starting this sloka in the 11th sloka also. Krishna is starting with the word Tesham. So Tesham means to whom? Machitta madgata prana bodhayantaga parasparam kadayantascha mam nityam tushyanti cha ramanti cha. So those who are always thinking about Krishna, Machitta madgata prana, who dedicate their lives unto Krishna, bodhayantaga parasparam kadayantascha mam nityam. So they enlighten one another by conversing about Krishna only all the time. They derive great satisfaction and bliss. So who are they? Who understands? Who understands that aham sarvasya prabhavo mattaga sarvam pravartate iti matva bhajante mam buddha bhava samanvitaga. So it starts from that sloka. This sloka number 8 it starts. So 8, 9, 10, 11, everything is continuing. So Krishna is saying that aham sarvasya prabhavo mattagas sarvam pravartate iti matva bhajante mam buddha bhava samanvitaga. I am the source of everything. Everything emanates from me. Anyone who knows this, iti matva bhajante mam, they worship me. That's what iti matva bhajante mam buddha bhava samanvita. With great attention they worship me. That's what in the 8th sloka we studied. So then Krishna is continuing that they worship me. So they all the time think about me because they know that I am the source of everything. They know that everything emanates from me. They know that mattaga parattaram na anyat kinchitasti dhananjaya. Mayi sarvamidam proktam sutre manigana iva. There is no other truth which is superior to me. I am the original supreme personality of Godhead. They know that. So for them, always they think about me. They do everything for me. They derive great satisfaction and bliss only by talking about me. So for such devotees, they love me so much. Bhajatam priti purvakam. So because they love me so much and they do so much devotional service unto me, I give them the knowledge by which they can come to me. So now Krishna is continuing that Tesham, to them, to those devotees, I will show my mercy. Anukam partha, anukam partam. So there is to show my mercy, anugraham. Like we say that anugraham, like here, anukam partam. So how will I show my mercy to my devotees? Krishna is saying that Tesam evanukam partam aham ajnanajam tamakanasayami atma bhavasto. Because I am seated in their body, atma bhavasto. Krishna is there in everyone's heart as the super soul. So ajnanajam tamakanasayami. I destroy the ignorance. Ajnanam. Jam tamaga. The darkness of ignorance. So the darkness of ignorance, ajnanajam tamaga, the ignorance because of the darkness because of ignorance, ajnanajam tamaga nasayami atma bhavasto jnana deepena bhasvataga, by lighting up the lamp of knowledge, with the light of the lamp of knowledge. So that's what jnana deepena bhasvata. Krishna is saying that aham ajnanajam tamaga nasayami atma bhavasto jnana deepena bhasvata. So in the 5th chapter we studied in one shloka, Krishna said that Nadate kasya chin papam nachaiva sukrutam vibhuhu ajnanena vrutam jnanam tena muhyanti jantavakha. Because I don't take responsibility for anyone's good or bad deeds, because it is their knowledge is covered by ignorance. So here Krishna is saying that if you understand this Bhagavad Gita, if you get this knowledge of Bhagavad Gita, this is the lamp of knowledge, Jnana Deepam. So Krishna is saying that by lighting this lamp of knowledge with the light of glowing Vasvata, with the glowing light of this Bhagavad Gita knowledge, I destroy the darkness of ignorance. Ajnanajam tamaga, nasayami atma bhavastu. That's what Krishna is doing for all of us right now. Right now, this is a great opportunity, what we are getting, what we are doing. This is also Krishna's Leela. We always refer to Krishna's Leela means we always think that it is past times, like that we say. But this is Krishna's current times. This is not past time. Right now we are all studying Bhagavad Gita every day and we are making so much progress and we are so much we are able to achieve so much progress and we understand Bhagavad Gita so much. It's all because of Krishna's current times. So that way all such miracles will happen by Krishna's mercy. He will give us the knowledge and there is no doubt that we are going to remember Krishna at the time of death. We are going to make use of this knowledge and act in such a way that we offer everything unto Krishna. So that way by Krishna's mercy, there is no doubt that we'll get this complete knowledge and also we will actually go and share this knowledge with many, many devotees. Now definitely the number of devotees are increasing. In fact, the number of devotees who are watching in YouTube also is increasing so much, Krishna's mercy. And our YouTube subscriber strength also is increasing. So we have now more than 600 subscribers. So it's increasing every week. 100 subscribers are adding up. So like that way, we have got so much of opportunity actually to please Krishna, to understand Bhagavad Gita. So definitely we will achieve success. There is no doubt about it. Hare Krishna. I'll stop now. We'll discuss if any questions are there. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Thank you so